I'm Paul Sanger for the Finance News Network, and today I'm speaking with RocketDNA. RocketDNA, trading under the ASX code RKT with a market capitalisation of approximately 7 million, leverages AI and autonomous drones to provide mission-critical data services for enterprise customers. Here to tell us more is CEO Chris Clark. Chris, welcome to the network and thanks for your time today.
Good day, Paul. Thanks for having me.
Let's get straight into it, Chris. First up, maybe you can explain the benefits of your technologies that they bring for your clients.
Yeah, Paul, it's a really an interesting business. So essentially what RocketDNA does is that we leverage autonomous drones and artificial intelligence to deliver mission-critical services or technology outputs for our enterprise customers. So what really that may mean in a practical example sense is, on an operational sense, we're telling customers how much they're digging out of the ground, but we really get into these nuanced kind of applications whereby customers are really sort of focused on how do we detect leaks that are happening, corrosion that's happening on these assets, and even and sort of recently a lot to do around sort of security and public safety, providing the situational awareness to customers.
A growing segment of your data products is powered by AI. How has AI improved your geospatial insights compared to traditional manual calculations, and what impact does this have on customer decision making?
Yeah, and I think where AI really in the practical sort of sense, to your sort of point, Paul, is we're really sort of focused on that autonomous data capture, using the drone technology and then applying the AI to that data to provide a bit of insights or analysis to the customer, and that AI component has really been a game changer for us. So automating that data analysis, providing that really quick interpretation and that geospatial data in near real time has been a force multiplier for our customers. So we're removing them from these sort of dull, dirty, dangerous, boring sort of tasks, and now allowing them to really kind of focus on the data outputs. And this sort of delivers a lot better efficiencies overall for the customer and the operations, and the overall operational outcomes.
Let's just delve into some of the technology. RocketDNA has achieved Basic Aviation Risk Standard, or BARS certification in both South Africa and Australia. Can you elaborate on the significance of this certification?
Yeah, so the BARS, which stands for the Basic Aviation Risk Assessments, is an international accreditation and a real significant achievement for RocketDNA, because it really reflects the overall approach that we have to safety as a company, and it's a big requirement for these large, especially the tier one operators in these very safety focused industries such as mining and public safety.
And moving on to your Beyond Visual Line of Sight, or BVLOS approval, what challenges did you face in obtaining the BVLOS approval, and how does it enhance your service offerings?
It was really quite a rigorous process. It took about over 2 years to get these approvals from the regulator, CASA. But what it does is that it enables our business to really fly these drones beyond the traditional sort of limitations, which up to this point has been within sort of 500 meters or a kilometer of the pilot on site. And now with the BVLOS, we can actually conduct these long-range missions, and even more recently, remotely via Starlink connection, where the pilot doesn't even need to be anywhere near the site. We can place them in these remote operating centers anywhere in the country and deploy them at any time.
And moving on to your recent contract wins, you have secured a contract with the Western Australian Police Drone Program. What is the significance of this contract for the company?
Yeah, so this is a total new vertical for us, which is quite unique out of the mining space. And ideally, what we're doing is we're now taking our XBot solution, really adding a bit of customization at the software layer, and really marketing it as our patrol bot autonomous security and surveillance solution. And what the Waypole tender allows us to do is really be able to work with the customer in solving a particular use case, which in this instance is really what they call is drone as a first responder. So what you would do is in a practical sense is that for every 000 call that comes in, you would then send the drone to provide this immediate situational awareness, what's happening at that location before sending sort of a police vehicle. And what this allows them to do is again, better use of resources, because, using a drone, providing that real time live streaming data allows the customer to say, hey, maybe I actually need to send a fire truck and an ambulance as well, or maybe we don't need to send anything. So it's really sort of the way that the sort of the future police departments are going.
And maybe can you comment on the scalability of RocketDNA's export data capture technology?
So building on our 12 years of experience within the drone and the mining space, we realized that everything's going towards automation. Specifically, if you're seeing how the market is developing now, iron ore now coming under sort of $90 a ton, there's going to be a lot more focus on cost efficiencies within the mining space. And I think for us, that actually leads into even a better opportunity for us as well in deploying our autonomous export solutions. And I think we've always been key about, building solutions that are fit for purpose, because you can over-engineer these solutions, but then they end up going into the tens of millions of dollars. And we really wanted to focus on that scalability factor where, you make them so accessible and cost effective that, mining sites will have multiple units per site. I kind of joked, like, I want them to be at the same level as photocopiers. Right, like I know people don't use photocopiers anymore, but everyone still's got one in their office.
Right?
I've
got a big one here. I use it all the time because I'm old school.
See, but that's great, right? Like everyone's got one, a multi-purpose printer, because they became so cost effective and cheap, and put it in, and the salespeople are generally good looking, and they know how to get it. And I think that's the same way that drones will be in every industrial site, is that everyone's just going to have one. And so we're just really about leaning into that wave of them. Yeah.
Gotcha. And then, Chris, looking ahead, what are RocketDNA's key goals for the next 2 to 3 years in terms of technology development, market expansion, and revenue growth?
So, Paul, over the next couple of years, we really are planning on expanding on our capabilities within the AI and the autonomous drone space, and how these two components integrate together to deliver the value for these customers on the ground, and really leveraging on these new opportunities within the public sector and security, new verticals that have sort of started to open up. We really started to see a lot of government tenders coming out now, asking for these capabilities, and we're going to sort of really lean into those opportunities and make sure that we drive the growth and that adoption within those sort of new green fields, but also understanding that our focus always will remain on delivering this value within our traditional customer base, within that mining sector, because they need data every single day. So really sort of playing to both our strengths through the innovation and operational excellence.
Chris, many thanks for sharing your invaluable insights into to RocketDNA and taking the time to speak with us today. It's been an absolute pleasure.
Thank you, Paul. Go well.